Hey, so hi everyone, welcome to this video. I'll be talking about opening moves for Dune Imperium Uprising. So here we go. So from X Immortality to Uprising, right? If you watch the previous guides on like early objectives for X Immortality, the objectives are clearly getting Swordmaster, getting access into shipping, the strongest space on the board, and next of all, buying powerful cards. Then the subsequently, like if you cannot get an all three, you have to get some sort of compensation through like resources, points, spice, or intrigues. So in Uprising, what changes? In Uprising, Swordmaster is different. So because of that, Swordmaster actually isn't like top priority anymore. The priority changes to buying powerful cards. A lot of power in Dune Uprising nest in the cards that you buy. Yeah, and so buying powerful cards actually is the most important thing early in the game. That the second thing is getting maker hooks and to be able to threaten worms and yeah, and actually get worms into good combats, right? Which is completely random as well. Yeah, but sandworms are one of the things that can really snowball the game. And after those two, right, which is there are only two objectives, right? Then after that is resources. You can look for to get your combat match, you get intrigues, you get more water, spice, Solari. And in this case, the Solari isn't just for getting Swordmaster. But most of the time it is, right? The spice isn't to do some conversion as well. You know, you can just kind of collect it. But because of that, the resources, the priority of the resources is really diminished. So let's look at the cards first. In Dune Imperium Uprising, there are some cards which are really good. I'm not sure if this is the full list, but I think when I looked through it, these are the cards that stood out to me. Like these these nine cards are game winning, right? And you can consider early revealing for them because of how powerful they are. The spy cards obviously work better on spy leaders, but they work well on most leaders as well. Then after that, you have like all your 7 costs plus are great, and then Stilgar and Price No Object are total built around, so you can build your entire game around them. Yeah, so these are all really powerful like cards you can buy. But when I say buy powerful cards, I don't just mean like buy these 7 cards and win the game. There are actually a lot of cards. And if you look at this list, right, it's almost all the cards, right, that I feel as though are powerful enough that no, you can plan your game plan around it, right? And each of them function a bit differently, work well in a certain deck, work well in a certain play style, and there's a lot of getting to know like cards, right? And how do the cards function well? How do you play optimally with these cards? What cards work well? Other cards? What cards work well with Swordmaster? What cards work well with spies? What card works well with Fremen bonds, with other benches, right? Or what cards are reveal cards? What cards are play cards? Yeah, and they're all everything is relevant, right? But at the same point in time, there's a lot of learning involved. But these are all cards which I see and I buy, and I won't feel sad about it. I don't need to chase like the S tier cards. You know, there's so many cards that are good in Dune Imperium Uprising, and you just need to start to get to know them and start to play with them, right? So you can buy powerful cards, and these are powerful cards. So watch out for them as well. So take a look at this list. Then, so what was the other thing that we want to talk about? We want to talk about getting maker hooks. So getting maker hooks is when you go to Siege Harbor, you get the maker hooks allows you to put sandworms into the battle. So there are a few very distinct things about it that I need to talk about. So, but to get at the Fremen friendship, right? Mainly there's two ways about it, right? One is you go friend kit, then desert tactics, or you go friend kit, or you go to friend kit or desert tactics, and you win the Chris Knight combat, right? So then the way you get to the Fremen friendship is really limited. So to be cognizant about it, right? So yeah, you can get blocked very, like, you can, there are not many ways to it, and yeah, but it's very powerful. So if there's not many players who can get the maker hooks early or get in position to use maker hooks, then what becomes the most pertinent thing early in the game? It comes to buying powerful cards. So it's going to take a while to go to TTS, and then we'll just try to run through. So it'll take some time to go to TTS, and then I'll just run through some of the openings. And as you can see, we'll gravitate towards some board spaces a lot more. Let's go. There are a few different type of rows that you kind of want to see. So this row is the row where you have an 8-coster, and so a lot of the game is revolved around getting this 8-coster. The player who gets this 8-coster at a reasonable cost actually is very likely to win this game, right? So, so first you have that. Other than that, you have like rows that you have cards that are player dependent. So or like leader dependent. So you have like Rebel Spy, which if you are able to generate spies, right? Rebel Supply is really good. So like the spy leaders, in particular Margot, is really like Rebel Supplier. At the same point in time, like this card reveals for spies, and getting spies in the game is at least early, right? If you get it within turns 1 to 4, getting 1 spice is almost full action, because there's some lines where you just need that 1 spice, right? And there's no way of getting 1 spice to go to either a spice refinery or to go to espionage unless you get this 1 spice. So actually this reveal actually is really good. Yes, no persuasion, but 1 spice does save you the action a lot of times. So then after you have like this, which no one cares about, this, which is decent in some circumstance, but then you have Spy Master, which is alright, not insane, maybe good for some spy leaders, right? But maybe we can just take a look at a few more. I will put this here and then I'll come back to it. So let's say in this hand you have a lot of good 5s and 6s, right? All great cards. Some obviously better than the others. So in this case, you want to gravitate towards leaders that are able to get to 6 persuasion. And then after that, the other 2 cards, double agent is good, but kind of requires Sword Master. So, and then Fidecon is good if your leader needs to like reveal for water, or you're going for sandworm strategy, right? So with regards to the other 3 cards, right, you just kind of get up to 5 or 6 early in the game, and you can very easily do that round 1 as well. Okay, so let me just put this like here and just look at the original cards. So how, like when picking leaders, right, let's say it doesn't really matter which. There are some which gravitate towards certain strategies, but I'm just going to pick some leaders which I think are generally good. If the main thing about this game, right, is to buy powerful cards. Let's say if you want to get up to 5 or 6 persuasion, right, the ways of doing it are twofold, right? One is that you can play a dagger, go up to Assembly Hall, right? Assembly Hall, when you go to there, you get 1 persuasion from your dagger, right? So this becomes a 1 persuasion higher hand. This makes Assembly Hall really good, right? One of the key things. The other way you can do it is to draw cards. You can draw cards either through Arakeen, draw a card here. You can go to Accept Contract, draw a card here, with a yellow or with a city access or spice trade access, right? Or the best spot in the game early is Fremkit, right, where you get to go to a faction space and draw a card as well as put into combat. So these 3 spaces are very good because they draw cards and they allow you to buy better. Other than that, also they cycle into your powerful cards early, so there's a lot of power nested into card draw, and going to card draw spaces are actually early important in the game. So these are the 2 main ways. The last way is probably to get another water and then after go to research station. I don't really recommend this line. It's a very expensive line, and there are a lot of scenarios where you can get totally screwed by that. Let's say you played Diplo, let's say you played Diplo, and then after that you played this, right? Let's say you draw back up to 5 cards. You can draw like, let's say this hand, right? This hand is what? 4 persuasion after going to research station. Like, it can be really bad. It can be even like something like this. 4 persuasion as well. So like round 1 research station, I don't think it's very good. Even if we went to the combat, it's so expensive, right? But I think in some cases it can be justified. But most cases I don't agree with it. So let's say with Margot, if you had your let's say if you're playing Muad'Dib or Gurney, right, then you can get like 1 more persuasion. But at the same point in time, you can high roll. You can high roll and like get this. Right, let's say if you get some combination of this, right, then Gurney can get up to 8. But most of the time, right, research station is not great because your likelihood to just get an average persuasion buy is quite high. Instead, right, let's say if you started with, let's say you drew this 2 cards and you started with this hand. If you just go to Fremkit and then after play a dagger, you can get up to 5 persuasion easily as well. So do take note of that. Or instead of drawing 2 here, you can split up your draws. You can go here, and then you can go here or here, right? It's same as drawing 2 here, right? And in fact, it's probably better because it's not so expensive. So let me try to remember what opening hand I had. I know it was bad. Something like this. All right. So ideally, if you're first position, I'll always recommend you to go to Fremkit. Right, Fremkit is the best spot in the game. Go there. It blocks player 2 from going Fremkit. Second, Fremkit round 1 and round 2 as well. And getting the friendship very easily there. Right, so if there's something to buy, let's say if there's a good 5 cost, you might consider, let's say Strike Fleet or Circle House in the row. Right, you have 5 persuasion. You might consider just going Assembly Halls and revealing if this was in the row. Okay, so opening, right, you kind of want to hit the draw spaces or to hit or to hit Assembly Hall to buy a good card. Okay, this is like this is a very weak opening hand. What you can consider, right, let's say if I'm playing something like this, I would probably play something like Accept Contracts. Right, Accept Contracts helps you to put in delayed rewards, and the delayed rewards are generally quite good. So let's say I've come around the contracts are great. So let's say if I'm yellow now, right, I would come to Accept Contracts. Right, now I draw a faction, and then after I'll take I'll take the refining contract. Okay, and then let's say we'll come back around to this. Most likely, if it's still available to me, I will come and grab the other refinery contract. Yeah. then you stack the contracts and then makes them really good. Or you can go to like secrets or something, but we'll see. Okay, so let's say go on to second player. So whenever it's given to you, I need to save this camera. Whenever it's given to you, right, always go to Fremkit early on. It's a big generalization, but I think it holds up. Okay, Fremkit's really good. You go there, you draw a card. Now you have 2 daggers, which, I mean, you want a good buy, but the cards here are like 2 or 3, right? You don't really care. And then after you can like just put in 1 or 2 troops, up to you. Okay, generally 1. Okay, so Fremkit is really good, and this allows you to get that second action. In this case, because my next one is a signet ring, I'll even consider not going to a draw space so that I can draw my Diplo next round. And have a blue access in my deck as well. So that's something you can consider. Yeah, so then after that, when it comes to the next player's turn, so now you have one player getting sandworms, right? Or maker hooks into sandworms. This is most likely his route. There are ways that he can still get to a high buy, so you have to be cognizant about it. But at the same point in time, let's say if you are playing Muad'Dib and then you are trying to get up to like 8 buy, So you must ask yourself a few questions first. Can you get up to 8 this round? And if you can, why not? Right? And if you can't, you might want to consider, yeah, and if you can't, then you might want to consider getting it round 2, right? So let's say in this hand you see that your faction access is here, your signal ring is here. So your next round you don't really have a very good round to buy because you have 2 daggers and you have a Sikh allies which you have to play. Alright, so if you have a Sikh allies you have to play and you have 2 daggers, your likelihood to get high persuasion actually is pretty low. So what you kind of want to do is you want to cycle into those cards now. Right, so let's say you want to draw and there's only one more draw space here, you go to Arakeen. Right, and after you draw your Sikh allies, right, and then like you feel a bit bad, but at the same point in time that's not the worst thing in the world, I guess. Right, and then let's say you put in 3 troops, let's just say, or maybe even 1, 3 or 1, maybe rarely 2. There's okay, and then you do draw another because you're one did. Okay, so now you're at how many persuasion you had? You're at 7. If you did draw your Dune, then it'll be perfect and just can reveal on the spot, or dagger and can hope for halls. Yeah, but in this case, there's no way you're getting into 8, and round 2 is really hard as well. You have 2 daggers, right? But this is something you should be thinking about. You should think about like the cards in a row. If let's say if once again if Stilgas in a row, you might want to consider like playing like playing this and try to just early reveal for it because it is that good. But with both factions hand, I think it's likely that you try to play like your fashion card. Okay, so now we have Gurney. Gurney has both is convincing in his deck. And then his signaling is here, but his allies is in deck. Okay, so Gurney's path to overthrow is really quite simple. What does he need to do to get it? He needs to get 2 water and get spice, right? So spice because he needs to play allies next round, and then after that he wants to draw like crazy next round. So naturally he'll have 5 persuasion and 6 persuasion after he throws in troops, right? So you just need to draw another 2. So if I was Gurney, what I'll do is I'll collect water and I'll try to collect spice later on. Comes back to Margot, I would just double up on the contracts, or I can choose to go into combat now. Right? So one thing about going to Desert Tactics second action is that one, it blocks blue from having the very lucky double diplo and no one blocks you. Another way is because you play a card, your reveal is still fine. Yeah, but with Gurney behind you, it's like really tough, right? And I'm not too sure exactly what line. Maybe the line is even going secrets, right? Secrets, it's secrets or spice refinery. Let's just go refinery in this case. If I'm playing actual, I might not play this line. Once again, I talked about not wanting to draw. The spice spots are like pretty average, like refinery and Imperial Basin. One thing you need to know about Imperial Basin and refinery and Haga Basin is like they're not good spots early in the game, right? Because if you go to refinery, you go to Imperial Basin, you're getting 1 spice for your full action. And then after you go into refinery, right? Whereas if you had 1 spice, right, the refinery action is just totally useless, right? So like collecting this and then this is 2 actions, but if you had 1 spice already and just go here, that saves you a full action. Yeah. So in essence, like this triangle of spaces are not good, right? You don't want these spaces. So the spaces that are good are here, like the draw cards 1, 2, 3, and then after that, like this one is good, and then after the faction spaces are good. So as you can see, right, the board is narrowing down really quickly. There's actually not a lot of good spots early in the game. In this case, you can either consider getting 2 troops or getting an intrigue. Different players like different things. I personally like intrigues. I think that intrigues early are good, helps you plan around a game. In this case, you get distraction, which can put down a very critical spy. So I'm playing Fate. I know that round 2 I will come here, I'll come here. I can put a spy down on Haga and be totally fine with it. Right? And then now what did I probably want to play Seek Allies. I don't value Seek Allies very highly, and I don't think you should too. You kind of want to play Seek Allies to get out of your deck because you want good buys and some good high coster might come up. Right, so let's say in this case, it's between Secrets and Desert Tactics. Desert Tactics makes your buy worse. Even though 6 and 7 are if a 7 coster comes up, you'll hate yourself. You can kind of draw manipulate. I don't think it's too far-fetched because you have troops in already. Okay, and then now you have reached agreement, you can retreat for more troops. Intrigues are good. Get them early, get them often, even if it's going secret. Secrets is a good space. Good space, good space, good space, good space. All the faction spaces are good early. So now Gurney, I talked about it, right? So then after you just collect 1 spice. In this case, you can put in 1 or 2 troops, depending on what you think. I think you can put in 2 troops because yeah, you have a dagger, you feel quite safe against Fate. Okay, and turn, let's say Margot reveals a 4, she picks up Rebel Supplier, she doesn't feel too bad. Okay, then now Stilgar flips. Now 3 to buy. You have a bunch of spy synergies. You can buy yeah, you can buy Imperial Spy Master. Then suddenly like a lot of these good cards flip, right? And it happens a lot. It's not just like there are a lot of cards that can flip, like even Spectacle, which there are 2 off that can flip that feel very good. Or a bunch of other 6s, even like City, like any of the general 6s, the ones the two Sandworm related ones also are really good. That can flip. That if you had 6 to buy is really good. So by the card you get 2 daggers. You can consider adding pulling a spy, but pulling a spy to tie for first, assuming that your red has no daggers, is I think it's very far-fetched, so you don't do that. What red does is red plays Diplo. No, red doesn't play Diplo. Red reveals, right, and he has 7 to buy. In this case, between Strike Fleet and Stilgar, I think you pick Stilgar. Reasoning is that Moalib is not a Strike Fleet leader, and Stilgar is generally good in most all strategies, especially worm strategies, right? And then after that, you end your turn. So I mean, Paul's hand looks absolutely like quite mediocre, but see with cards flipping now, he suddenly has game, and then we'll just do this for 2 rounds as well. Okay, so and turn, but you buy Prepare Away because you want high persuasion next round. You take your rewards. Gurney takes 2, Solari, Moalib takes 1. Let me just adjust the Solari and draw the intrigues. There's a world that actually Moalib would have like taken away his just retreated 2 troops for a contract that was relevant. But I'm not sure if there was a contract that was relevant. And then blue gets another intrigue. Okay. So I mentioned just now, blue first thing will get the Fremen Friendship because the objective is to make a hooks. He draws into his Signet Ring, which is really powerful. He might even consider not trashing because because he gets up to 5 to buy Strike Fleet. Right. Yeah, he might even consider not. Does he put in troops? Like putting in troops here is the iffy one. You aren't really sure they put in troops. You kind of have to kind of watch the table. Right, so and because 2 troops can always put them in later, you know you're going to a combat space. Moalib draws Stilgar. In this case, he probably does slam Stilgar. and because he's not getting up to a high buy, maybe he gets up to 4 to buy, which is not great as well. So if that's the case, if this is the case, you probably are playing Stilgar, right? You're either playing Stilgar here or you're playing Stilgar here, or you can try to collect spice next round as well, right? You collect spice and try to cash this in. So if I'm doing okay, so let's say if I'm playing more deep, right? I'll try to win this combat. This combat's really good for you, even though it's a complete rainbow. And if you are trying to win the combat, you can consider getting troops early. The only issue is that Margot might go to Desert Tactics, but if that's the case, you can go to like Arakeen or something. So you collect 2 troops. So this is just to chuck in more troops later, and then also to trash it. So once again, I collected spice because I wanted to go to Espionage. I get a Signet Ring. If I play this, right, I'm at 6 persuasion, and I desperately want Overthrow, right? Overthrow is the card that I'm looking for. Yeah, so then as going out, I'll place a spy here. With Margot, you do want to hit refining later, and you do want to play this card. You do want to get up to goodbye. And because of that, you can consider actually as Margot like trying to draw a card and then after that, getting Strike Fleet. And you draw the absolute worst, right? You draw the absolute worst because you can't get Strike Fleet now. In this case, you really want the spice, right? You just put in 3 troops. Alright, you don't know what they have. You know that Gurney's gonna research station, but getting like 2nd place here is really good as well. Like, or you can even like have some ways where you can get first. Okay, now a lot of people in Blue's position will put in troops here. This combat is really good for Blue if he can, but it's also really expensive. If he plays, so there are 2 ways you can play, right? You can play this way, you can trash a card, and then or you can look to buy Strike Fleet. So probably looking to buy Strike Fleet is better. So let's say like that, you can, if he puts in 3 troops, right, it's a total arms race that he doesn't know if he's able to win. He might be able to get pull and get up to 10 sword, but he needs to pull his spy. Right, he needs to be willing to pull his spy. Okay, so you can trash. Maybe he doesn't trash. It should set alarm bells going off everywhere. He puts in, because he has a combat card, he can play distraction as well. He plays distraction onto there. In general, I don't like putting in the troops here. I think if you put in next round, when you put in a sandworm, I think it's a lot better. Not sure if yeah, but this is something that happened. I'll just show this case that will happen. So then now, you didn't know that Muad'Dib drew this, so he can put up to 5 troops, right? Now he can trash the dagger, and after this will give him his friendship as well. So Gurney must decide, you know, if I draw 2 cards, what's the likelihood that I get overthrow, right? I need to not draw my dagger, but if I draw 3 cards, then I'm safe, right? So then after I go and pull spy, right? And I needed to, I kind of like needed to pull spy. Did I? Maybe I do these 2 first. Then I didn't, but 1 more troop. You can put up to 5 strength in as well. 5 strength and 2 daggers, like you feel kind of safe. It's a good match for you. And killing troops is like super good. So as you can see, right, how this has played out. This has played out well for everyone except for Blue, maybe. Or maybe green. yellow as well. And yellow is probably the one who suffers the most in this circumstance. There's a world where like yellow could just went to refinery instead. But drawing 2 instead of drawing 1 is like pretty average. Now yellow can't even like reveal for strike fleet. And yeah, yellow's kind of stuck. Yeah, so yellow's kind of stuck. Yellow has a dead game already, and then then blue reveals for strike fleet, pulls a spy, puts a spy, gets 2 swords. Then after that, Muad'Dib's turn. Muad'Dib has 1 sword, 3 to buy. Probably buys probably buys a Fremen card because he has Stilgar, right? Gurney reveals. Gurney has 2 daggers. Yeah, Gurney has 2 daggers, can buy overthrow, and he gets buy access. As you can see, intrigues are very powerful in this game. Like, you can get bad ones like Call to Arms, but at the same point in time, you can have Gurney's one, and suddenly from something that doesn't look very great over the board, like you're suddenly in a great situation, just because you drew one of the best intrigues in the game. Okay, so Margot reveals 2 daggers, 4 to buy. Right, nothing really good. Maybe you can buy the double agent, but nothing really good. You can buy prepared aways. Yeah, maybe you just buy. Buying 2 prepared aways feels so bad, but it's the kind of game that you have. Okay, so this case, if I was blue, I would probably just pull 3 troops back. It's too expensive. Even if I get 2 spies, like 2 spies doesn't do me anything. Like 3 troops allows me to hammer the next few combats in. Then once blue retreats, I think red might consider retreating as well. He can't beat him, so might as well retreat 1 troop. Right, and then if yellow has a combat, like sure you can play it, but it's not too significant. Okay, sorry, this goes here. Gurney doesn't do anything. Gurney's ahead, and Margot lucks out into some rewards. Right, so Margot gets 2 spies. So everyone passes. Margot gets 2 spies. Muad'Dib gets 3 spies and a troop. And then Gurney, who is the victor here, he gets a combat match. He gets a water, gets a Fremen bump, and a troop. And he has great cards. So once again, early game, what you're looking at, right? You're looking at trying to buy good cards. Okay, you want to buy good cards early in the game. And in this case, overthrow was the main thing, but a lot of good fire and 6 costs came up. So you're looking to buy good cards, and you can see there's no real fight for Swordmaster. Because Swordmaster is so far away, like even at 2 Solari, right, it takes so many actions to get to Swordmaster. You need spies, then Solari, then after that. And sometimes the combat can flip and just give someone Swordmaster. So no one is fighting for Swordmaster, and everyone is kind of jockeying for cards or for Fremen access. As you can see now, blue has complete control over the sandworms, and it's very hard to fight from him. Yellow's so far away, by the time green gets it, it will be too late, right? And so you kind of have to fight him in other ways as well, but that's a video for another time. Alright, a red has a deck going for him with Stilgar, a green has a deck going for him with Overthrow, and yellow's probably the one suffering with Rebel Supplier. But maybe some contracts and maybe be able to draw big into a good card next round might help him, but at the same point in time it's really hard. So this is what you need to kind of look at in the early game. Buy good cards, and everything else you need to be very reactive about. You buy good cards, try to get a friendship, And yeah, so focus a lot on the Imperium, bro. The Imperium, bro, is the most important thing early in the game, and that will help you win your early games. So once again, good spaces are cards that draw the spaces that draw you cards. These 3 spaces are bad. These spots are good. All the faction spots are good. Okay, I hope this video helped. Thank you. See you around.